Hi guys, and welcome to today's show. We are joined by the lovely Lucy and Dean.
Hello.
Who are about to embark on an amazing project called StarDust London, which is an all-encompassing winter festival, which we're going to talk a bit about. Dean comes from a really interesting background, especially within nightlife, worked across two huge brands that I'm sure you have probably all heard of, Sintillate and Hot Bed. Lucy's got a wealth of experience within hospitality. So guys, many thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Before we get started, little personal touch. Dean, in fact, used to be my manager at a clothing brand about 12 years ago.
Many moons ago.
So I'm sat between two of my managers, so I kind of feel like I'm the parency. So yeah.
You'll get a good reference, don't worry.
Thank you very much.
Totally, yeah.
That's what I'm hoping for. So guys, thank you for joining us in this amazing, sort of the Thames, if you can see that in the background, an amazing location here. What kind of brought us to this location in particular? I believe it's your
family business that my father started 50 years ago. It's called City Cruises PLC. We acquired this venue about 15 years ago. It's called the Hispaniola. We rebranded it as the Upper Deck, which is now an a la carte restaurant. And it's a great venue in London, central, especially for New Year's Eve. It's a great spot.
Yeah.
WC1 postcode. And this is where we have a lot of our meetings. A, because it's central, and secondly, because the views lend itself. Like, people are always amazed, it's very different to have a floating meeting, so it's nice. We thought it's a good place for a location, and you've not done a boat before.
No, we haven't.
So we thought we were the first.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So guys, you, Lucy, come from a strong hospitality background. Dean, kind of delve into your past. You worked across Sintillate and Hot Bed.
Correct. I mean, before both of those, I was working in a nightclub. So I was managing Southeast nightclub called Lamb many years ago. That kind of was straight off the back of a 10-year career in fashion retail, as you know.
Yeah.
That's where we crossed our paths initially. And off the back of that, I decided that I needed to do a season abroad and just get it out of my system before I commit to anything else long term. That led me to Ibiza, so I helped the guys over at O Beach Ibiza to look after the PR team there. Off the back of doing a great season there, got headhunted for Marbella, which lent itself to working with the guys over at Sintillate, which is phenomenal industry, heavyweight, positions we put in, and did that for best part of 4.5 years, looking after the Spain operation and coming back and forth to London over the winter.
Yep.
That then lent itself to me getting involved with the guys over at Hot Bed, which is something completely different, more daytime parties. Those guys specialise in pool parties in Ibiza.
You still involved with Hot Bed or?
Yeah, so working with Hot Bed guys at the moment, so we're still doing stuff.
Did something at a church.
Interestingly, we did a really cool party in the City of London at the Dutch Church. So 500 capacity and 4 walls, but it's a traditional, fully functional church. So 6 hours after our event, they were setting up for Sunday service, which is phenomenal to think about. It was really cool. So a full production installed by us, all of our resident DJs and musicians on point, and it was a phenomenal event.
It went well, yeah?
Really well, went down amazingly. So no doubt we'll be back there again in the new year.
What's the insurance policy on that? Because surely if it's a regular hotbed, and then forgive the quote, the pun, but with that, if they're about to set up for church, obviously I'm sure damage control was for them.
I mean, there's a lot of third parties involved, and they've all got their own PLIs, already issued. So it was
dancing on the pews.
It was quite a quick turnaround. I mean, within 2 hours, the full de-rigging was done, and they had a good 6 hours ahead to plan ahead for the Sunday service. So it was very professionally installed and de-rigged.
Yeah,
it was good.
Yeah. So how long ago when did you leave Sintillate?
So I was with the guys for 4.5 years, and I left those guys to February last year. Had a bit of time out, and then joined the Hot Bed guys during last summer.
Right.
And kind of really helped them expand across the UK, do different cities, Liverpool, Leeds. We're forever looking for new cities to delve into, and took the brands to Marbella for a full residency, which happened this summer just gone as well.
Okay.
So again,
and I'm assuming that's your knowledge base. Is
so I've
Marbella
got a lot of networks, and I've built up a nice sort of customer base from Marbella backgrounds. So definitely looking to continue doing some stuff out there in the years to come.
Yeah.
Cool. And Lucy, with yourself in regards to sort of the industry, is it from a restaurant background or bars, clubs, promoter level?
So it came from really, I was a girl promoter in terms of what I used to do. So my dad had this kickback boat. It was awful. He'd had it years. I think it was one of his oldest boats.
Right.
And I convinced him to give it to me as a nightclub. Had to pay the fee, which was interesting. But I had a very limited budget, so I basically had a floating bathtub, and I had to make it a very cool venue. And what I realised is actually working alongside other promoters was much easier. I wasn't very good at the public sell part of it. I didn't want to be one of the people that plaster all over and constantly messaging my friends. I just wasn't good at that. But what I was good at was orchestrating and curating the event.
Okay.
So I worked alongside the promoters and got them on board. So we worked with Select FM, was one of my biggest clients. We worked with them. We worked with a couple of charities. So one of them in particular called One Life. So we worked with lots of different guys, and they used to bring the parties to us. We charged them a flat rate, and we took the bar spend, they took the door.
Okay.
So I did that for 2 years, and my dad only gave me the boat on a Monday and Tuesday evening until I could prove myself, which was the hardest struggle. But Nando's became our biggest client. And actually in London, what you realise was shift work patterns. They work well, so doctors, firefighters, police, Mondays and Tuesdays are there, Saturdays and Sundays, because they have to work the weekends. So actually I understood the market, started to sell tickets quite fast and rapidly built a product that works. And then I got into, once we partied with the nightclub industry, I then went into bars and restaurants. So I invested into a company called Blend, which is based in Bexley-Heath. We then opened our second restaurant in Bromley with a couple of really strong promoters that are in the industry.
Okay.
And then I founded a business 2.5 years ago with my partner Aaron, and we started Burger and Bubbles, which is a whole different trend. But I always understood, front of house has always been my strong point.
So Burger and Bubbles, what's the concept?
So craft burgers and champagne. We're very similar to Bubble Dog concept.
And you take the events to different restaurants and
we
venues?
don't at the moment, but that's what we're just about to do. So we've had the restaurant in Beckenham for 2 years, and it's got a really good following now. So we're brunch. We do 200 women between 12 and 6 p.m. at a brunch party. And we're now starting to travel, so we're going to different larger groups in London. Because actually owning the venue is not really for us, it's more about the concept we've created. Yeah. And we've patented it here, Europe and Dubai. Okay. So we can take that to other venues now. So.
Yeah, nice. Because brunch has been such a big thing, probably over the past, 2 years?
I think, I went to Dubai a while ago, realised, Friday brunch, that's what Fridays are for, brunching. Yeah. Everyone does it, it's very renowned. And actually it's a very different market there. Like Luxury Brunch Club, one of our friends, Joe Courtney owns, he hit the nail on the head years ago. And actually it didn't maybe foresee because people hadn't been to other brunches. But now the travelling side of it, people love Candy Pants are amazing. And they do some really great events at 5. And that's where I was only a year ago. And actually that's kind of caught on here now. Brunches are massive. Prosecco brunch is free flowing.
You've got like garage brunch and different theme brunches.
Massively, it's huge.
Go and have some Eggs Benedict and listen to
well, it's really cool.
It's a win-win.
It's a really cool.
I think in the UK in particular, from my perspective, that's what we've noticed as well, is that the daytime partying demand is there much more than you will experience the nighttime. So I've come from doing parties in the city every single Saturday night and seen a bit of a decline over the years, but the daytime brunches, rooftop parties, those sort of things, it's gone through the roof, pun intended.
There you go.
There we go.
Pun intended.
So how did you two meet then? What's the sort of, where did your paths cross?
Your version or my version?
Yeah, we've got 2 versions.
Okay.
So basically, a long time ago, I'd come up with this concept. So I did some traveling. I realised that there was a niche in the market between, I could see experience-led events taking a forefront in terms of our age group and the next generation. Because the next generation aren't interested in going to a venue and paying £100 a head to eat at Benihana. They want to do something that's cool and want to be seen at the cool places. And I realised that an experience-led adventure with a talent lineup would be something that no one's curated before. So I started a feasibility study, and I looked around my radar and thought, who can I get involved that I know in the industry that's got an understanding and a past of growing these kind of venues. And Dean really popped up. A lot of people recommended working with him. So I think about 2 or 3 years ago, I kind of did some outreach. And we'd spoken, I'd been to a couple of his venues and done that. When he came back to the UK, we had a couple of meetings, and we made quite a serious channel to say, look, I really want you involved. What's that going to look like for us? And then got you involved. It's about only since really the beginning of this year we've kind of worked hard on this project. For the last year we've been speaking about
so tell us about the project that you're currently working on.
So it was a concept I came up with about mixing experience.
So this was the concept from 3 years ago that you come up with?
5 years ago.
Winterfest. Wow.
Winter Festival. It was called Winterfest, was feasibility study. It was an immersive-led festival mixed with talent, and I didn't know what talent, I didn't know who was going to perform, but I knew that the concept worked. Did a really big study into it and understanding why winter and why I was going to introduce this realistically in London. And you see with Boardmasters, it was cancelled in the summer because of weather. It doesn't really matter now in this day and age. It could be hot in December. You can't odds it. And for me, it was more about when the market wasn't saturated, that I could enter in and we could build something. London doesn't have anything apart from in terms of like, there's very Christmas based. It's not winter based, and I wanted it winter, not Christmas. So that's always been my lead. It's not an anti-Christmas. It's just not a, you know, I don't want
Christmas thing.
Yeah, it's not. It's not like let's go and see Santa. Let's do something that's very much based around the winter. Probably like November, December time, and people know it's the one event of the year they want to go to. They have to be seen at, and that was where I started the journey. The name came from a collective. We had a couple of meetings, and we decided that, you know, everyone's made of stardust. That's how we all started. And I think inclusive festival kind of brings you all together.
Yeah.
And it's what we're all made of. So I wanted to make sure that we made it as inclusive as possible.
Yeah.
And then, we started working on the project, and here we are today.
Yes, we've adopted the motto, we are nothing but stardust.
Okay.
Nice touch on
It
it.
is, very much so.
There we go.
Definitely put that in a few posts.
Oh, absolutely,
we love that.
You're sniffing it pretty cool.
For sure.
Yeah,
The hand way.
There you go.
You'll see that popping up. Yeah.
What are some of the challenges in this day and age then have you kind of faced trying to set something up as a winter festival? Because it seems like a massive task to get your teeth into.
Huge
Initially,
task.
venue, right? A winter festival, we can't do outside because weather permitted. We're likely to experience some bad weather that time of year. So we never set out to find a space that we could do an outdoor event. We always wanted to be indoors. So it's finding that right location in London that's, you know, big enough, got the right sort of you know, set up an environment for us to do the created pop-ups in different areas. We've viewed many venues throughout the area, but it's just too big, too spacious, too warehousey. So finding the right venue was paramount initially, and we must have viewed a dozen across London.
Easily.
And then we found the right one.
And what's the right one?
We're at Tobacco Dock, so
Nice.
it's a great venue. It's indoor, it's outdoor, it's inclusive, it's got lots of different areas. It feels, in terms of the space, you can glam it up or dress it down. It's got a really nice feel to it.
Yep.
It's got heritage, you know, especially this fact, and it's really cliche, but from the boating side, the docks, obviously when I saw the venue and been to loads of events there, I was like, this is perfect for us. And it has a really good corporate hospitality. I've never done the LWE events there, although they're really successful and really popular. I've never done that side. So I've only seen it as a corporate light.
Yeah.
So I've seen best sides of it, you know. I know it's got that really good party side, but it's also got a very glamorous, high end. And people expect to, when you enter that venue, it's not a cheap ticket. You know, people are paying, you know, £100 plus.
Is that the market you're going for? The more higher end scale of?
I think we are. Technically, it is a higher scale.
Slightly higher age range as well.
Yeah, we're in over 21's venue.
Yeah.
We want to be targeting the people. The festival's built for us.
Okay.
You know, it's our demographics, our clientele, it's who we are.
Yeah.
And also as well, it's not so much we want to charge loads of money, it's the fact that what we're going to put on for the day, actually, when you look at what you're getting for the value, is incredible, because the things you go and see for one of those days is the same price as a ticket to get all three.
Yeah.
So I think when you start to analyse what it is we're putting on.
When you say talent, you're talking music, or you're talking other types of entertainment, or?
Yes, we have.
It's a bit of everything. We've announced sort of phase one essentially of our acts that we've booked. I'm happy to announce those now. It's available online. We've got the likes of Artful Dodger, Sholarama, Shift Key, huge producer and house DJ, and we've also got the likes of Mike Skinner booked to do a DJ set from the streets. So it's pretty cool. So a lot of people are excited by that. We've also got some really cool bands by the likes of Duke. I believe they've been on one of the sort of TV shows that Simon Cowell did back in the day, talent led.
Have you seen their video with ours? They're unbelievable.
Online.
They're unbelievable.
Duke. They're three guys, but they're beatboxers. Everything comes from the mics, but you feel like you're listening to a track. It's phenomenal. Really good energy. And another band's called Royal Beats as well. So they're sort of 7-piece bands, and again they just create some fantastic energy on stage.
It's quite a good mix of acts.
Yeah, and then that's just phase one. Phase two shortly going to be announced. We can't say that on camera just yet. And of course we're looking at 1 or 2 huge headliners that we're going to announce in the coming weeks as well. So again, you know, that's been a bit of a challenge our end, because as I said to you guys earlier on, there's a lot of loopholes, there's a lot of you know, sort of things that we need to consider with regards to what other events they've got lined up, what other venues they're involved with. So there's a lot of things we can and can't announce at certain stages of the process. So that's probably been another obstacle that we've encountered during this journey so far.
Tobacco Dock is, as you pointed out before with the LWE events, is starting to, it's got that reputation already now as a destination venue. You kind of know what you're going to get when you go there. With your kind of clientele and the crowd you're looking for, is that because that type of crowd you've worked with at those type of venues in Marbella or in Ibiza with the whole kind of O Beach and things like that, so you know how that kind of market ticks?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like over the years I've kind of, you know, delved into the VIP clientele, the bed bookers, the table spenders. And I've got that kind of commercial aspect to it, but where Lucy's background, she's got the aspect of the corporate customers and the city workers and the people in the the big players in business that will want to come out and do something big over Christmas.
It's about mixing the two.
So mixing the two.
Yeah, but also as well, like for us, for our backgrounds, we want to make a festival that's for us, and it sounds ridiculous as well, and I know I say it and everyone laughs, but the kind of quality, like I don't want to be queuing for half an hour to get to the bar. I don't want to be, toilet attendants sounds ridiculous, but I want 3, not 1. So those are the kind of things that aggravate us about other events. And actually, if we understand the client and the market, they are our friends, they are our network. So actually, we're going to put on an event that lives up to that standard, and we wouldn't do anything less. And at that stage, that's really what we've worked hard on creating it. It's really taken thought and process to get to where we are. And we're really proud of what we've created. And I think that's getting that message. The only thing I'd say that's been challenging really for us is that it's really hard in your year one venue, no matter how well you know your market, your network, is getting the message of what we're doing. Unless you spend 10 minutes, 5 minutes telling everyone and our friends and family know all about it, is telling the wider audience a public sale. That's quite hard. Yeah. That's a challenge that we've...
How are you starting to go about that then?
So I think as well, like things like this, so like podcasts, we've done quite a few now.
Yeah.
We've spoken to a lot of people in terms of a wider reach. A lot of our network and resellers will understand what the concept is, exactly what it is. We've got a very strong comm strategy. We're working with a couple of guys that launch big products in London and UK wide, and we're working with them to create a very good strap line that kind of tells you, because you have maybe 1.5 seconds to get their attention if you're on Instagram. People are just scrolling, and it's the same for us in terms of Facebook. People don't read loads of stuff, and actually we want to be seen there rather than the others. And we're lucky at the fact that we're almost sold out of early birds. We're almost sold out of VIPs. So they're going to be no options at those stages now. At the VIP level, things are going to close. So people are going to automatically want to know what people are getting for their money and how, what comes with it.
Yeah, I suppose it's very hard, like starting from scratch, because you think, say like next year, you've got a whole event, you've got all that content, you've got that reputation, but to start from scratch is
it's difficult.
It's challenging.
And we're lucky, clients that have come to us, they trust me, I deliver. From what I've always done, I've never not delivered what I've said I'm going to on the tin. So actually I'm quite lucky in terms of high end. It's fine, my clients know me, they're well enough. We do lots of events together, so they trust us. And the same with Dean's Network. It's just that middle area, the main public sale, trying to get them to understand what we're putting on. Is sometimes a lot of the questions we get is, what is StarDust? Don't we?
I mean, already we're super excited for you two.
Yeah,
you're already thinking
we're choosing the date. We're already choosing the date now.
We're thinking ahead, but it's just getting through year one, make sure we deliver the experience that we have. Our expectations are high for this event, so we want to make sure that's delivered as best as it can be to the customers. And we're going to grow in the next few years. We've got a 5-year business plan with this, so we're planning on sticking around and expanding.
Is it just going to be once a year, or are you looking to do it?
So year one, for year two, definitely. But extending past that, we're working with some of the talent. We're looking at our talent lineup, who's one of the arms of the business. They do the Ushuaia takeover, so IBZ will be really cool for us. And DXB will be big for us, so Dubai. That's definitely where we'd like to definitely feature, because the contact's strong out there. We know the market really well, and actually growing the brand. We want to take this with us. And Ticketmaster is our official tickets supplier. They have blue ticked us in terms of we're the only guys doing this in terms of immersive and lineup. It's not been done before, and they won't take another person on to do it.
What is, speaking of which, their office looked ridiculous. I saw you coming
really
down
good office. There was a slide.
It's unbelievable.
That slide looked pretty awesome. With that in mind, what is the kind of difference? What is your kind of USP in the sense that, all right, you've got your music talent. What's the other side of it? What's to separate you from any other? From any other music-led festival?
So immersive. Do you want to lead on this?
Yeah. So we've got 2 big brands that we're involved in at the moment. We can't announce the third just yet, but we've got House of Dinosaur. So these guys work with huge festivals and brands across the world, the likes of Glastonbury, Wilderness. Snowbox Festival in the French Alps. So they do a lot of big sort of party events around the world, and they specialise in the immersive experiences like roller disco inside of venues, sort of games and interactive moments with the consumers. And they're taking over one of our rooms and doing a huge roller disco themed environment inside Tobacco Dock, which again you wouldn't expect to see in a venue like that before. So that's going to be a really cool themed room, and there's going to be lots of different activations and stuff happening in and around that area, so customers can go roller disco in at our event in December. Luna Cinema, you guys might have heard of before. one of the biggest leading outdoor cinema companies in the world. They're taking over one of the other rooms that we have, and we're doing an immersive film experience in one of the rooms. So again, when you kind of look at these different areas, again, what Lucy said earlier is you might go to one of their experiences and pay £20-30 just for that alone.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously we're creating all of these things happening in different areas and different parts of the building in one ticket package, as well as food and drink included, and lots of other surprises along the way. Lots of our cool brands are getting involved in us and doing activations and pop-ups. So brands that you'd seen on Instagram and on socials that you'd like to have been involved in before at different festivals, they're going to be having their own pop-ups within the venue as well. The likes of Gypsy Shrine and some other cool places. So there's a lot of cool things happening as well, which are going to be really good.
Did this just literally, it seems like it kind of snowballed in the sense that you had this little idea and you went, okay, what if we did this? Okay, cool. Now what if we had that? And then what if we did this? Because it sounds awesome.
Yeah.
And it's something totally different. So what was that kind of strategy meeting like? Was it you two sat in a room for 12 hours with a pizza and hashing it out, or?
No, I think honestly, like the feasibility is where this started. Like I invested £30,000 to understand the market. Like I work with the best talent. So I went to Assemble Talent, who's Rag, who owns Elbow.
Right.
I went to Green Owl, who started Wilderness and Secret Gala Party. And it was led by Quintessentially. So I went to the best in the market and I laid everything on the cards. I said, this is what I want to do. I need feasibility to understand why no one's done it. So I need to understand the negatives and I need to understand what the opportunity is. So I did a really big SWOT analysis. I mean, the deck is huge. We could be here all day talking about it. So I understood exactly what I was entering into, good, bad, or different. And this is not a money-making exercise. This is an expensive outlay. This is not in any way, shape, or form a business plan. This is a passion. So I decided that actually, rather than going down the AEG, hiring a venue, putting an act on, selling tickets, I wanted to create an event that was different. And I really believe that there is such a huge need in London to do something that's not just a Winter Wonderland experience. I believe there's a huge market for music-led. And then we started to look at, it's always been immersive. It could never be a bog standard concert because for me, that was not an event. Mm-hmm. Everyone can go and see their favourite act and you can book a nightclub, but actually let's do something that's very different.
Yeah.
And it's not been done before, so this is going to be new for everybody. This is not just, we have created it in terms of we sat down with Dean, I went through the business plan, we understood everything about it, and what can we do that's different? Who do we know that we can get involved that's immersive enough for us that we would love to go? And that's where we got the best of the ideas from. And that's only going to grow. We know that year one is going to be how it is, and then year two and pop-ups. And also what we would like to do is where we've got these immersive things coming, we'd like to take our clients to another one. So we might do a 500 really small capacity in partnership with Luna. We might do a different kind of thing.
Yeah.
It might be a West End musical brunch type of thing in a theatre. We'll do something different.
So it'd be this brand, Luna, for instance, in association with StarDust.
Yeah, of course.
Association with,
And I think as soon as you're going to put our brand with it, you're going to know, okay, there's going to be music, there's definitely going to be talent there, and there's definitely going to be something immersive that's different and experience-led event.
So what's the capacity that you're looking to reach, and how many sort of tickets you're looking to sell for the first
year one?
Yeah.
Yeah, so year one we're looking at 2,500.
Yeah.
And then of course we've got a nice steady growth over the next 5 years. So we've got, the best thing about Tobacco Dock as a venue is, I'm sure you guys know, it's huge and there's lots of different areas and intertwined pathways to different sections, and there's a downstairs car. It's huge. So the venue can go up to I think maybe 10,000-12,000 people. Should we need to. So we're just going to steadily grow and the brand's not oversaturate what we're doing. Get the experience right for everyone that's going to be attending.
I guess that's the most important thing.
Well, and for us, this is been really conscious as well. Like if you increase your number, you decrease your prices, right? So we could say, like, when you do 10,000 people, we're going to put this lineup on. It's going to cost everyone 50 quid. But actually, I can do anything worse. I can't control 10,000 people in year one. I need to make sure that every single person that comes to the festival has a great time and experience-led. They're not going through the horrible experience. So if we get it, right in year one, we can work on the things that didn't go so right. So year two is just as good delivery. Yeah. We're never going to be, I don't want to be a mass producing, 120,000 people. That's not what we want to do. No. We want to create it so it's very personal. It's very, intimate. You've got influencers left, right and centre. You've got good exposure. I think that's where we want to be in terms of growing the festival, not so because we're selling 20,000 tickets. That's not really our business model.
Yeah. So in terms of festivals as a whole, you've obviously got summer months where probably over the past 5 to 10 years that the amount of festivals popping up and saturated. How well festivals are doing. Yeah, it is saturated, but a lot of festivals are doing really well and probably taken away from the decrease in nightlife can probably be compared to the increase in festivals. So have you looked at that thinking, right, festivals are great, we see this sort of spike in the amount of festivals, but we can't do it in the summer because it is saturated. We're looking at the winter, like what you said, there's nothing out there, and I'm thinking now there probably is no sort of winter.
There's nothing.
Based.
When you look at it, I mean, like, that's
when does it normally stop? Sort of like September, October, maybe, and then
September will be your last festival.
Yeah.
Well, we are due a Halloween, which is October.
Yeah.
It's their first year.
It's our first year doing a Halloween festival. So what I noticed, and I'm 100% aware that next year, year 2, I'm going to have competitors. I know this is going to happen because people are going to say, actually, why not? Because listen, in 20 years' time, the market's going to be different anyway.
Yep.
The longevity, I'm not sure of what it looks like, but we know the experience-led is on the rise. I mean, you're growing at huge rates. Huge rates. And I think actually, as a whole, if we get this right, then this model will roll out across all the other brands.
Yeah.
The winter is a good, anytime from October to March, you got a really good sweep just for the month.
Yeah, and especially this, what date is the event?
7th of December.
7th of December, yeah. So I mean, everyone's in that sort of party mode then.
Party season, you're ready.
Yeah.
Bang in the middle of party season for December, for Christmas as you lead up to it. What does the kind of perfect experience for that customer look like from the moment I purchase my ticket right through to when I leave StarDust?
I think it's more about the want to be there. You know, I think when you're seeing it pop up everywhere, it's like, I want to be there. And by the time you've got, you know, everything's done quite easily. So Ticketmaster have been amazing. In our VIP experience, then everyone gets a VIP box. The time you go there, you pay for your ticket. I don't want you to worry about, you know, when you get there, the experience is good. So you know, don't queue for, you know, getting in, you're already inside. You know, we don't want to have it rain. Like if it rains, I'm like, no one can be outside. We want to do the queuing inside. So let's get you through the door, let's get you involved. As soon as you're in that queue, going through to the cloakroom, and you've been checked in by Ticketmaster, you've got this experience where there's actors, there's music. So it's not like a boring queue. I couldn't think of anything worse.
Yep.
I'm really not a big fan of it.
They're going to be jugglers like that.
Massive jugglers,
Oh, wow.
definitely.
Entertaining.
Definitely. The entertainment is the whole way through, so there's never a time. What I do really like, when I first did feasibility, had this idea about après ski. It's definitely not après ski, but it's definitely on the same, you'll understand, that we'd have a ski instructor. The ski instructor would go around, give you a lanyard and not for you, and they say at 12 o'clock you've got to meet us at the ski school. You turn up thinking, what the hell am I going to? You go into a private room, into a lodge, which is 20 people, and you've got a pop-up concert with one of the best DJs for a 10-minute set. All you're going to do is Instagram it, because it's like, really cool. It's really cool, right? It's very immersive. So that's always been our content in terms of, you don't know what's going to happen. I'm not going to promise you, but I will say that we'll always under-promise and over-deliver. There is no way in hell I've got my name something that it's not going to be as cool as. So I know that there's a lot of things we've done, and it keeps excitement for us. For year 2, people are like, I have to go because I don't know what's going to go. Right. And I'm lucky in my industry. I've had 12 years of hospitality. I've got a very good network. I'm very lucky with my support from my network. And that includes everyone from Joe Blogs all the way through to Beverly Knight. I'm lucky that I've got some very cool people around me, and in this kind of arena, I think this is exactly what I'd love to do.
Yeah.
So when you come as a customer, I want you to be excited about what's going to happen. You know, we've included drink and food packages because I don't want you to worry about it. When you get there, if you're hungry, grab some food. You've got a voucher, go and use it. Grab a drink, don't queue at the bar. You know, go to the activation with Gypsy Shrine. You know, get your hair blow dried. Go and worry about the things go and listen to the best music. Then go and do rollerblading. Go and see the cinema because it's your favourite film at Christmas. Then by that time it's 8 p.m. and you've got a headline act. That's what we want from the environment. People don't want to leave.
Okay.
Because that is the best feeling in the world.
That sounds pretty awesome, to be honest. How long's the day?
2 till 2. So 12 hours.
2.
Yeah, so 12 hours.
So you're what, 7-8 weeks away now?
Yeah.
Right.
On track?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Massively.
Yeah.
And if, you know,
That's really good to hear, honestly, because so many people who have their debut things like, oh, God,
Yeah, that's it. That's what I was expecting to hear.
Yeah.
Not,
I think
that's all under control.
3 weeks ago, I had 2 nights where I didn't sleep because my brain went into, this is your event, your face is on it, is everything ticked? And you think all the things, you just go through lists and lists of things, and you think, actually, let me take a breath. Actually, if you're not at the steering group, at the helm of it, then who are you? And at the same time, you've got to be this process driven. We've got some really trusted parties in. Everyone knows what they're doing. Things are going to be fine. You do have to have that talk with yourself because it's a big risk, and financially as well. It's not just reputation; it's finance.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Is this the biggest project you've been on?
By far.
By far.
Yeah, by far. And I had an opportunity to Moved to Dubai and do some big projects over there. When Lucy approached me about getting involved with StarDust, and by all means this stood out to be a huge opportunity. So it was a no-brainer to stay in the UK and get involved in this.
That's pretty extraordinary, because obviously Dubai, a lot of promoters or big promoters.
A lot of people, that's the path. Yeah. They end up in Dubai and they have a nice career out there for a few years, and that's very much where my mindset was at a couple of years ago, and I thought that was my next move. This project obviously essentially fell on my lap with Lucy approaching me, and I think it's such an amazing concept that I just could not be involved in it. So
I think as well though for you that you've learned a lot though in terms of business, because I'm an entrepreneur and my family are. Like Dean is literally like actually everyone that's involved becomes part of our wider family. We really try to treat everyone in that open, so we're very open arms. And actually what I've learned is that even together we've learned loads of stuff. You learn a whole new skill set from doing that. You know, it's more about the business understanding, not just selling tickets. It's like what impact does that have on a budget, and how does that look, and what's the PLI like, and venue and health and safety. You learn so much so quickly because you haven't got a choice.
So with that for yourself, then I suppose you're allowed to be flexible by also concentrating on the other things that you've got going on as well. So you're not just tied into StarDust, you're allowed to move about within the industry.
For sure. It's nice to kind of almost still be involved in other things. So you've got your foot in the door, and you've got the networks that you've got access to.
I suppose they could complement each other, can't they?
Absolutely.
Absolutely,
Definitely. So I feel like I still keep the foot in that door.
StarDust flyer at all the hot
All the cars, all the Dinos.
One thing I just wanted to sort of make you guys aware of as well, and your view, is that recently at the London Venue Awards, Tobacco Dog actually won the Christmas best venue in London, which is really cool for us. When we only learned ourselves 2 weeks ago, they got nominated and won the awards. So their production at Christmas is something like I've never seen before. I've been to Tobacco Dog a million times.
It's
all
amazing.
the big,
Really
big house events and big LW events have been there loads, and the production that they stick in at December is a real kind of like dream circus theme. It looks phenomenal. It's completely different to any other time of the year. Obviously, it's quite corporate because the corporate events they book in. We started straight in the middle of that, and we add our own StarDust production on top of that with a huge company called Visual Architects. We've done all the design work for us.
I've seen them.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Yeah, you know what? I see a lot of their stuff on LinkedIn. Sort of LinkedIn earlier.
That's why I found the guys on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I mean, I always see some of the stuff they do.
We've talked to them for the best part of 6 months. So they've done a lot of work for us, a lot of design work, set stages, and they do stuff all across the UK, big festivals, parties in Ibiza and whatnot. So they're going to be huge for us as well, and they're going to really transform elements of the venue to an enchanting forest, which is going to be a nice aspect as well for us, our StarDust journey. Yeah.
What's been your biggest pushbacks that you've been?
I had this question the other day actually. My biggest pushbacks are the artists who I personally know, who we have personally booked, and then we can't announce. And they are epic, really good friends in the industry, unbelievable acts who are in the charts, headlining everywhere, but we're best friends with you, but we cannot be announced because of X, Y, and Z, and that's a pushback in terms of the brand.
Can't announce now, or can't announce
until they've sold out other events, because that's the way management works.
Right.
With some talent, they may have a London gig, which takes hierarchy over your venue just because it's been in the diary for a year and a half. So they have to sell that first, and once they've sold out, you can announce. You can't take them away because the customers may come to yours.
Why don't you just slightly promote each other?
Yeah, I know, like quick.
By the way, guys, they're also doing
Yeah, they're also doing that. I mean, so that's a setback in terms of the lineup, but I know that we're trusted enough that people I know the lineup's going to be epic, just because of the people we.
If you're allowed to talk figures, what's the starting point for
a festival of this size?
Yes. From a consumer, what's the ticket starting price?
So the early beds are on sale at the moment, £99. The next stage up is 125. But 125, that is an all-inclusive ticket in terms of the immersive experience you go to, so all three that we've got. Then you go through into having obviously featured in there with our cloakroom and access on arrival. We've also got a travel partner who can save you money in terms of travelling in, and also we've got on the day from getting to the stations, it's destination driven, so we do have access to transport to and from. We do have credit as well in terms of leaving the venue, and then we've got food and drink packages, so they are also included, so it's not such a huge outlay, and access to see the talent lineup.
Sure.
So, VIP top end is 249, but that's literally rolling out of bed, rolling into the festival and getting home as well. So that's completely inclusive, but that's been very much targeted at my trusted circle in terms of, you know, corporates, VIP, H&I, H&Ws. So at that stage, it's a very all-inclusive. And the venue we have for that is unbelievable. I don't know if you've ever seen the venue there. It's called Henry's.
Right.
Henry's is an original bar. It's unbelievable. Everything's wood and marble.
It's like a 1920s speakeasy theme.
Incredible.
Inside to back up. I've never seen it before.
No,
Never
I didn't know.
existed.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Until, you know, when we've done our first site visit. So we've almost got that sort of part of the venue. We've sectioned that off as the VVIP in, called it Henry's ticket.
And then
Nice.
the festival itself, how much is that even the whole for, so to speak? Or is that too much of a personal question?
What the whole wrap up as a budget so the liability is about 600k. Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. It's not for the faint-hearted at all.
Does that make it challenging for someone who's new?
Yeah, for sure. But we've been quite fortunate to kind of get some industry heavies involved and, you know, advising us on stuff. We've got a great project manager and some people that know what they're doing, that have got the experience. So that's it's been a bit of a...
It's almost like you've really, I mean, obviously you've done so much research and partnered with so many people to get the information and be mentored by people who've kind of done it. It's almost like you definitely are learning from other people's mistakes. Not saying it's going to be 100%
But that's what you do. My dad
you learn
told
from
me.
other people's
You learn on other
mistakes.
people's time.
Yeah.
When you have a job, you learn on other people's time because it's your forte for a next business move. So you'd be silly if you just started something and didn't do it. You need to know enough experience and what you've learned on someone else's time. So that's what I did. I paid for the expertise. I understood what I was getting myself in for, and I knew. And even when you know the information, you still have a wobble. You can't help not. But it's an entrepreneur. The thing I said yesterday as well, what's different about this kind of project is one event is 12 hours. So when you see the budget, when I opened my restaurant, we lost 227. So that's 227,000 you lose, but it's over 18 months because it's a build, it's a contract, it's taxes, it's all of it.
Yep.
So it's not so scary. But when it's one day and it's 600,000, you think, oh my God, I could buy 2 houses. So all of a sudden it's a fear because it's so much in one day. But at the same time, you know you're building a brand. It's the same business model, it's just different.
Yeah.
And the budget over 5 years, if you look at the flip side, then you understand where you're going with and what's the driver and how you're getting there.
Would you have done anything different, like the point you're at now, would you have done anything differently looking back? Or?
Yeah, of course, you learn from your journey.
Yeah.
Of course, if I had life, as Aaron said,
What's some of the mistakes even though we've got 7 weeks to go, there could be some more, but there's not. What are some of the mistakes you faced
naivety in the industry. The music industry is very different. Naivety completely.
Yeah.
Music is very difficult. It's like, I know the acts, manager, booking us, another booking fee, another. You're like, how is it 8 people know about the festival, but I'm with dinner with you and you don't know about it? But I put an offer in here.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's the way of the world. If they don't want to be involved, or if you don't know them, it's very gatekeeperish.
Yeah.
And I know the acts.
Yeah.
And they're still telling me the processes. And it's like, I have the email here. How do you not know about it? They're like, yeah, well.
It's the same process what we said with the consumer earlier. How do we get that
Message,
that message and that vision across to the booking agents so then they agree and they feel invested in this event when, you know, there's not that much material out there, we've not done it before, it's a brand new concept. So it's almost just kind of trying to convince people on our word.
Sure.
On, you know, that they're right for it, you know, they should be part of the lineup. Again, we're looking forward to you two.
Yeah. Yeah. What's been the main marketing channel? Social. I know you've been using influencers and
social. We've got you know, quite heavily invested in social channels in terms of working with the likes of Facebook, Instagram, and we're at the headquarters probably every other week, just to kind of really reach their business model. For Facebook is unbelievable, and their team do outreach. They work with projects like ourselves.
Yep.
They take them through the social channels and go that way. And they test budgets. But you can really ramp this up. You can be spending £5,000 a week on socials to reach the audience you need to.
Yeah.
Our only marketing strategy is inside the M25.
Right.
I need to be everyone that works, lives, and goes out in London. Realistically, our reach at the moment isn't further than that. That's where we know our target audience is. So, you know, across the channels, and we have activations even with, you know, on your phone. You spend average of 8 to 9 hours a day on your phone. So we need to be in front of you. That's where we need to spend our money.
Yeah, and you mentioned influencers as well. You've been using
influencers. Ticketmaster have been amazing. Ticketmaster are doing a takeover on Instagram for us. They've pushed all their channels, so we've gone out to a huge audience.
Yeah.
And we see the spikes. You know, you look at the stats. It's live. so you can see when people are coming through. But yeah, influencer campaigns, we know enough people, we've got a database between us, it's pretty huge, we've got some really good online
did
support.
a really cool after party for the London Fashion Awards, Fashion Week rather. So we did an after party at the Licklist Hotel, and that was facilitated by Inswap and all their influencers. So we had 300-400 people there that are influential, a lot of followers, and we hosted the party. We've got some DJs, we've got our brands in there, we've got some activations involved, some brands on that, and it was just a great, nice little 5-hour event. Just to introduce what StarDust is, almost to get people talking about it.
Yeah. How hard is it though? Just you're relying on the customers to, like you say, trust you and trust what you're saying, because you can't. It's not like you can put a video up of what the event was like last year, and like you're explaining the roller disco and the various things you've got going on. But when you can listen to that, but it's nothing like seeing it.
Fortunately for us, I think that the people and the brands we've got involved have got that history and that capability there. So where they're on board and they're working with us, we've got a lot of their content that we can use to kind of almost portray what the festival's going to look like.
It's a bit like me saying, I'm going to take Nando's because everyone is really well known, or McDonald's. It's a great franchise. So I say to you, I'm in the shopping centre, but I have McDonald's at mine. You're like, oh, I know McDonald's. Oh, it's fine. So in your head, you already recognise the brands. Ticketmaster, I've worked with them for years, and actually they were like, Luce, we're 110%, we love the idea, love the concept, we're coming on board as your ticket partner.
Yeah.
They could have said no. Actually, we've been lucky, a lot of the brands, the food brands, the huge names that we've got involved. So as you'll see, this week we've got a massive release. You'll be like, oh, I know that brand, I know I've seen them, I've done their stuff at Snowbox, I've been with them at Wilderness. So all of a sudden, when the brands are involved, it makes people trust, and that's what we've really focused on, the names we've got there, because it's important. Because you can't just start a festival and have your own, for us, an immersive cinema experience. I can't do it myself, otherwise I'd be doing that business, So in terms, you have to go to the outreach, you need to go and get the partners, and they're really, really credential in terms of our festival. So, been hard though. It's not easy to get the message.
No, I can imagine. That's what I'm thinking. Hearing from you is.
It sounds brilliant, because a lot of the people we speak to, obviously, it's across so many different roles within the industry. I think this is the first time we've actually spoken to complete novices doing this particular thing. You haven't, as we said, this is year one. This is completely new. You're always learning, so it's great. And I think, just from this conversation here and the passion and everything that you've got behind it, I think it definitely will be a success. Just because of you doing the research, you both doing the research, the industries that you come from, I think it would be great. I look forward to the finished product.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be cool to get you guys down there on the day. If you want to do any snippets and use our content afterwards, then definitely. And maybe interview us during. You're like, oh my god. So I said that yesterday. Are you going to be enjoying your time with everyone, your friends, or are you going to be working? You're like, I don't think I'll be able to talk to anyone the day before, probably the day after. I'm going to need some real time.
It'll be a stressful day.
Really stressful. I'm good. I think I'm good at the pressure. That I'm really, really good on the day. Like, I'm really clear thoughts. I don't tend to get walked up into the stress. I tend to come up with solutions rather than problems. I try to problem solve. So I know that I'll be cool on the day. I'm used to the pressure. I just think it's while you're there, people are pulling you left, right, and centre. They want to see you because your event and your network's there. So that's going to be the challenge, actually, segmenting the time.
I'm quite the opposite. I'm which from seeing the event like the other week. I'm very much involved in all the nitty-gritty details, and oh my god, that's not there. That needs to be changed. This needs to happen. Of course, I've got everyone coming to me for things that need to get done and dusted. So
I haven't seen you in 7 years, but can we have a selfie, mate? I've really got it wrong.
I'm really sorry, mate. Just bear with me, and you can see me a sweaty mess in a few hours. So that'll be me on the day for sure.
That's the thing, because you want to sit down at one point, the two of you, and just kind of look where it's at and just go, we did this. And look at everyone else.
I look forward to that moment.
Yeah, we are looking forward to it. We sound like a holy grace every morning. We'll be there. I talked to the 8th of December. Like, cool. So
No, that's when I'm on leave.
Turn our phones off.
So guys, just a reminder, it's on the...
So Saturday 7th of December, 2 till 2 at Tobacco Dock, and London's first Winter Immersive Festival.
Tickets are available.
Ticketmaster or through our website. Any of our social links go straight through onto Ticketmaster.
So all of our socials are StarDust LDN.
We'll put something up for you.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Awesome, guys, thank you so much for taking time.
Thanks for coming
This
down.
was the 42nd time we tried to arrange it.
We got there in the end.
We got there in the end.
Now we understand how busy you are.
Exactly.
You can see why, right?
Yeah.
We can give you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers.
Thank you.